Welcome everybody to your second of 3 days of the International 2 group stage play, game number 1 of series number 1 of the day, and this has got to be a very high match in terms of the list. We did have this matchup at Beyond the Summits World Tour, but it is totally different now. This tournament for a much bigger prize pool on land. CLG facing off against their old captain Loda, a longtime European Dota pro who has moved over to Southeast Asia, brought his talents to the team of Zenith. Ice, the captain for them. PyCat, the captain for CLG. They will be matching wits. CLG 6-0 on day 1 in their group stage play. Really strong performance. To be fair, their opponent's arguably not the strongest in the group, but we'll see if they keep it going today. I am LD of DotaCommentaries.com. I am joining Luminous as well, also of DC. Together we are David and Lumi. It's day 2. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, or at least I'll try to remain great, as this is going to be a very, very long day. Our enthusiasm was a little bit dipping towards the end of last night, but just after reading multiple comments being left in the chat, Twitter, Reddit, I cannot be down.
Lumi, your in-game audio is not working apparently, so maybe try toggling it.
Okay, I specifically toggled it before our cast, but I'll do that right now. But as I was saying, the bar's on, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of feedback from the chat whether it's actually on. But yeah, as I was saying, our enthusiasm was dipping towards the end, but after reading so much comments, we cannot allow that happen because there's a lot of people expecting high things from us, great things from us, and they support us. So we're ready to deliver another great day of casting for you guys. Zenith have the opening pick, and I gotta say before we go into the first pick, this feels like a David versus Goliath situation. Walking into this group, right? Can we spoil a little bit of the results walking into this?
I already spoiled them, man.
So Alright, okay.
I said CLG won 6-0. Zenith on the flip side went 1-5.
It's the first seed in the group versus the last seed in the group. Zenith on the last seed. So this is really David versus Goliath.
To be fair, if you look at some of the teams that CLG played, going into this event, the teams they played probably not really considered the top teams in the group in the event. But all that being said, it's still great competition. I agree CLG should be the favorites going into this match. But Zenith get a hero that can be very powerful. We've seen PyCat really use this one effectively in the event. Lycan did not have a very high win rate coming into this event, but at the International, he's been very powerful. I believe he's sitting somewhere around a 70% win rate for all the matches he's played. But CLG gets something insane of their own. And boy, I've seen them so far behind on the back foot before with this Darkseer. But if they get one opening, that's it. You are screwed. It's Darkseer and Invoker to follow up. Look at the AoE potential.
Ooh, Invoker's being played by PyCat most likely means a couple of things. He's going to get a lot of farm, and he's going to be really, really powerful during mid-game. But there's something in my heart that feels like this is not PyCat's hero. I know he's great. He's a great Invoker player, don't get me wrong. But I just seen him own games so much harder on Morphling, Anti-Mage. You know, you're legit hardcore carry. He's going to have a great Invoker. Don't let me joke you with anything like that. But I think with that pick here for if PyCat's playing that, I think Zenith has a chance. They have a high chance of winning this game.
You mean CLG? But yeah, you can never count out PyCat's
yes,
right?
yes.
That's a fair thing to say. What is Zenith going to get to follow up this Lycanthrope? We've seen a lot of teams, they like to go for more of the Aura style. Beastmaster, Vengeful Spirit would be options if they want to take it in that direction. If they want some stronger sort of team fight potential, Tidehunter is always a decent choice. And if you don't take Tide, or Enigma for that matter, that means if CLG want to get their hands on those heroes, I think maybe more so Enigma, because they probably want to have that jungling hero. They could throw Darkseer into that role, but normally we see him in some sort of a solo situation. Then Enigma will be a great choice. Looks like it will be a little bit of Aura stacking so far. Beastmaster the pick, but it's not just about the Auras. This hero gives you so much more. Stacking Ancients, whether he farms them, whether Lycan farms them, it's all gravy there. Good anti-push as well. And a great initiation spell. Speaking of initiation, they get Rubik too.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we haven't seen this hero till now, because the statistics for TI2 group stages so far, Rubik is constantly on top, and given the fact that there is a Darkseer on the enemy side, you don't want them to give them that vacuum, black hole, vacuum, wraps, that kind of combo, and Rubik kind of deters that a little bit, considering that he can steal the black hole, he can steal the Tide Ravage if the Tide player is not careful. So I like the fact that they pick it up third, and basically tell CLG, here's their signal, try not to pick as much AoE as possible, because we will try to punish you for it. I also like the fact that Beastmaster and Rubik are very, very powerful single target stuns. one of the things that Lycanthrope has to worry about when it comes to mid to late stages of the game is that he just takes too long to kill people, right? People have, Force Staffs, they have Surge to back them up, they have Ghost Scepters, but when you are stunned for 4 seconds, Beastmaster has all the time in the world to pull on you. So I think those single target stuns are very, very important. But let's see a couple more AoE heroes on Zenith's side.
And actually, Storm Spirit gets banned out here. It's something we've seen CLG use quite a lot. Misery loves to play that. But in this case, it seems like they run it when they are playing more of a spread the map kind of style. And so far, they have a bit of individual ganking. They get the Chaos Knight for some initiation of frontline hero of their own. But they're not really going too aggressively towards it. They have a lot of AoE to work with. Very balanced lineup for CLG. Zenith a bit light on the team fight potential. Yes, they have the single target lockdown to set up the Lycan, but in a larger scale engagement, you can't lock down just one. You will have to deal with Darkseer and Invoker and Chaos Knight. So how are they going to do that, or are they just going to avoid doing it? It seems like that might be the route they want to take. Panda, the final ban here. It's looking pretty good for Zenith in terms of that single target initiation. I think the other thing they're lacking right now, they need a couple of strong solos, because whenever you see a Chaos Knight pick, that means a lot of potential for early kills in the lane. Don't be surprised at all if CLG goes for something like a Lina here to try and shut down that push and also set up the Chaos Knight kills.
Yeah, Lina or Ancient Apparition, even Crystal Maiden, Venture Spirit, we've seen a couple of times. Chaos Knight just needs that one setup stun, and suddenly he's right-clicking for a lot. Now, Chaos Knight is on level 1, I believe. He has the highest variation when it comes down to damage. His damage is a little bit chaotic when it comes to low range and high range. So if he gets lucky enough, he could be hitting you 80 per pop, and when you're stunned for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it'll hurt, right? So, very high killing combo. But I wonder if it's going to be a dual lane mid Chaos Knight. I think that's the most common one, but we could see it bot, we could see even top for offensive duel, even tri lane. There's just so much versatility so far in the CLG lineup. Darkseer, we've seen him on the long lane, but we also see him in the jungle. So it's going to be somewhat difficult to predict, and this is exactly where you want to be. When you're picking up a lineup, when you're picking up your heroes, you don't want the enemy team to easily predict where you can go.
You know who else is available right now? It's Tinker, man. That is a hero that can be very potent for both of these teams. And how many times have we seen it? There you go. I was thinking maybe it would be CLG who want to get their hands on it, but it's really strong to combo up with the Lycan as well. Gives you great burst damage, as well as a hero that can put a lot of pressure in the early to mid game while Lycan gets big, while he gets his farm. And the beauty of this is Tinker can farm Ancient, Tinker can push the lanes, and Lycan can farm the jungle. Beastmaster can stack those Ancients for the Tinker as well. This is a lineup that has a lot of synergy in terms of maximizing their farm.
That's definitely the case, and that it feels like you need way more lockdown. Now you have to play against the Tinker. It's just so hard to push, and you talked about the global, right? I think we've seen Tinker. We were just completely annoyed watching the Tinker playstyle. And I just gotta imagine how it feels to be on the other side of the Tinker. Waves after waves after waves of Marching Machine. Yesterday we saw a 3-man dive against Tinker. Not only did Tinker not die, his Marching Machine got a double kill under his tower. It's insane, right? It was against, I think, MTW Cinderin. Yeah, if you remember that. It was a hasted Queen of Pain gank, and he could not get it off. Any case, so back on the other side, it is Enigma. Now, we've been talking about the Darkseer Vacuum Black Hole combo, but there's a TIE Hunter Ravage to cancel it. There is a Rubik to steal it. So normally a very powerful combo.
Whoa!
Ooh. Okay, the story changes completely now. Disruptor, that's insane. The big silence is going to be there, and my Dota 2 just crashed.
Okay, well, I will keep everyone posted and introduce the players, talk about the lanes a little bit, but this Disruptor pick, very reminiscent of something that Zenith did in the Tour. They ran basically an all AoE team. It got to about 25 minutes. They just barreled down mid, and there was absolutely nothing their opponents could do about it. This time it's CLG who will be running that Disrupt. He will be a support player for CLG. We have Ake going to be playing that signature jungle here. This time it's an Enigma, not the Chen or the Enchantress. Lacoste on the Darkseer. Stout Shield already picked up. Miracle going to be playing the Disruptor. Observer Wards for him. Misery on the Chaos Knight. And Pycat, of course, on the Invoker. Blades of Attack picked up. It's looking like a Wex build. That could change, but normally when he starts this way, he does go for Wex. Are you back in the game yet, Lumi?
I'm on the loading screen. I'm right back in.
And I will continue with Zenith. Loda. Okay. I'm holding. Because
I hear you echoing big time. I gotta turn back all my stuff. Alright, seems we're good. Sorry for the technical difficulty. Thank goodness I have not missed any good action. But sorry, back to you, LD.
Okay, for Zenith, Loda boots first, going to be in the off lane, already mowed down the tree line here to make it harder to gank him. But this lane is so much initiation. His position will have to be absolutely perfect. Boots or no boots, once they catch you, especially with... I mean, look at what abilities they have to pull you back in. It's not just Reality Rift. It's also going to be Glimpse, and I'm excited to say, you know, I thought I was out, then they pulled me back in. It's going to be fun. It's Freedom playing the Lycan. Actually, that support player, did he buy a courier for his team? It looks like he did. Oh, support Lycan, or at least providing a little support. Ice rushing the bottle, going solo mid. Loda, oh, sorry, I already introduced Loda. XY going to be playing the Rubik, headed towards the bottom lane, and HY, we a farming Tidehunter. He's playing in the bottom side of the map.
I didn't catch whether you introduced the dire side. Should I do that now?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Thanks for covering my back. All right, Misery on the top lane, though. I wonder how much farm he's going to get. Now, Chaos Knight loves to start the game with, you know, at least farming for 5-7 minutes, and they get kind of diverges. Some Chaos Knight would like to keep on farming and go for that quick Vanguard and throw his body in the way. Some other Chaos Knight likes to just keep on ganking and get a phase boot early, but here we go, 1 second stun. Oh, Misery, not getting the luck, at least not this early in Seattle. You really want that 2 second stun at level 1.
You know, there's no chance of killing him right now, but if they get a higher second stun, if there's Reality Rift and, you know, something else on the board for Miracle, whether it's Glimpse, whether it's Kinetic Field, I just don't see this Beastmaster living. It's so easy. It's so hard to be in creep range and then also be out of range of Glimpse as well as Chaos Bolt. This is going to be real tough. As for bottom lane, it's Lacoste, Telekinesis, perfect body block. Will it be enough? Doesn't look like it. And it's going to be hard for them to get a kill as well, especially once Lacoste gets Surge. They only have 1 stun. You normally need 2 to deal with Darkseer's Surge. Gush, Anchor Smash, nice damage. Probably not going to be enough to get a kill unless they have amazing body block, but we see the potential for it already. Yeah,
the difference between this Beastmaster and this Darkseer is that if you're not careful enough, actually Darkseer can get a solo kill against your dual lane. That Iron Shot just does so much damage. You're diving for him, you're taking tower shots, you're taking that Iron Shot damage. Suddenly, he surges and right-clicks you and you're basically dead. Now, on the other flip side, Beastmaster is not going to do any of that. You can see Loda, he's trying to go for pulls, but unfortunately it is warded off, so he's just not having a good time. Now he's going to go check the rune. Loda, like many other good long lane players, if you can't really get EXP in the lane, make sure you get farm, or make sure you get the runes back in the mid lane. No, Ice, gonna take a couple of stuns. Will the right click be enough? Nice body blocking from Aki, and the last hit. Ooh, nice bottling to make sure he does survive. Laser coming in, Beastmaster with the double damage. Is he gonna turn it around? I think he is. He's gonna be a lot faster, and that's exactly what we talked about. If you can't get EXP in your lane, get the runes. You never know what's gonna happen. Axis just missing Pycat, but it will. Loda barely survived. Pycat barely survived. A lot of action right from the get-go.
The teams, they had a long day yesterday, but they are walking that tightrope beautifully for both sides, juking in and out. The body blocks already very impressive. Not quite the 4 or 5 tree block of an entire ramp that we saw yesterday, but we're getting there, man. They're heating up. I'm ready for them to catch on fire. Lacoste, the wraparound, XY, making a go at him. Where's the body block? Not going to be there. Good harassment, but it's definitely a Darkseer who's having an easier time in the lane than Beastmaster. They do get a first blood mid. Great contribution for Loda, but the Ancients are still warded off. Maybe he'll buy some sentries. He can't really do anything top. So I'm still a little concerned here for Zenith. Where are they going to send this Beastmaster? You can't count on getting a DD rune and having the perfect time to strut in mid every time, but it's definitely a good start.
Well, Loda says can't count on the DD, but maybe I'll get a haste. Look at him, he's getting the bottle. Most long lanes Beastmaster, they go for soaring because they want to spam the axis. But I think this Beastmaster is going to be checking the rune very, very actively, as well as going for those ganks. And bottle is probably the best in business for things like that. They want to deward that as Loda is pinging that area very, very aggressively. They do not want that to be warded off. Pulling Ancient for yourself is very, very important for a Beastmaster, as well as a Tinker.
So it's very, very early, but for right now, if you're Zenith, I've been talking about the Beastmaster not getting too much, you know, aside from the first blood. He did deward, he can start stacking the Ancients, but even if he doesn't get a whole lot, are you okay with this? Because you do have a Lycan getting free farm. He bought the courier for the team, or maybe it was a pair of wards, but that did slow down his farm, but now it's an impeded farm. He's already level 5, Reign of Basilius picked up, Sage's Mask, and this is something I was clamoring for yesterday. It is Lycan leaving the jungle early, and either going for a push or kills. Looks like they're going to get both bottom lane. Lacoste, Telekinesis, throwing him back. Meanwhile, the push top. But they get a much-needed kill. And whenever you kill with Lycan, that means you can push if you want to. But it looks like they don't.
Yep. If you guys saw that bot gank, it was textbook gank against the Darkseer. Darkseer will use his surge ability to run away, but as he surge, pick him up in the air and make him waste the duration of that surge. But back on the top lane, the push commences. They are going to bring down the tower. Beastmaster, no, he's going to go for a deny, and it wasn't lasted by anybody. So a little bit unfortunate by Misery. But it's okay, they'll take that and they'll keep on pushing. Misery already have the treads finished, and look at his movement speed, 385 compared to that Beastmaster. Oh, he's not running. Oh, there's a Reality Rift, 1 second stun, Kinetic Field, Thunder Strike, and it wasn't enough though because Tower is focusing. I gotta say again, Misery not getting that 2-3 second stun. He really needs it. He really needs it.
Yeah, you know, sometimes sometimes the luck's on your side, sometimes it's not, and here just not on his side yet. But there's plenty more stuns to follow, plenty of opportunity for him to catch up. One thing I want to point out is Lacoste really pressuring H-Roy on the bottom lane. Only Darkseer could do this, right? I mean, it is a melee hero, to be fair, that he's up against. But getting killed off early, normally you're going to have trouble. But Darkseer just calmly struts in, doesn't care the Tidehunter's 6, doesn't care that he's been killed already, and immediately starts the rest. And still H-Roy getting some good farm. 25 creeps already, has his arcane boots, if that's how he wants to go. And I'm guessing that's what he will go for. Anchor Smash first. He can really, really spam aggressively if you pick it up. Middle lane, though. Tornado. They want Ice. There's a 4-second stun, and he is toast, man. That's too easy.
Yep, and that goes back to what I pointed out earlier. What kind of CK will Misery play? Would it be an active ganking one? Would it be a farm one? With the bottle pickup, I gotta imagine it's gonna be ganking one. He sees a Hawk, and he kills the Hawk without mercy. Someone call PETA. 6 minutes, Rune is going to spawn on the bot lane. It's double damage Rune. Freedom's going to pick that one up. Perhaps even set up a gank here against Lacoste. But for now, our eyes goes on the mid lane here. As you can see, Misery is roaming around. But back on bottom lane, Lacoste is trying to surge the Ravage just for him. Look at the high investment. And now with the wolves chasing around, they are going to get the kill.
Worth it.
Zenith.
Totally worth it.
I got to agree with you. It's a long cooldown. But when you kill the Darkseer a second time, it's completely worth it. Zenith controlling this early game very, very well.
Now, if you're CLG, you know that Ravage is down. This is where you maybe don't pick a fight, but you try to do something a little more aggressive. Because when Ravage is up, especially when the rest of their abilities are there, no Roar just yet, but it will be up soon, and especially if March is layered over top of that Ravage, that's going to be big trouble. But that March is not
top
coming
lane here, 3
soon.
second stun on Loda here. Where's the follow-up? We need some body blocking. There's a Thunder Strike, Reality Rift, second Thunder Strike, and the last hit. Misery. His Chaos Knight has 99 problems. But smacking Beastmaster ain't one of them, so Misery doing a lot of work this early in the game. 1-0-1.
Well, you know, Lumi, you recycled the PETA joke, but you recovered admirably. I love it, man. You're doing good in terms of the corny little comments.
That's what I'm here for, right? Corny little comments.
I'm digging it, man. I'm definitely digging it. Getting me hyped up. Bottom lane, the push coming in. Lacoste can do a decent job of dealing with this. There is no Ravage right now. And Ion Shell, just such a nuisance. Push against top lane. Misery. The prey is the predators become the prey, and then held in place by the Thunderdome. Misery should be able to run out of here. So much powerful defense from Disruptor. Glimpse could be great, as well as Kinetic Field, but the position has to be right. Bottom lane, now they make a go on Lacoste. Gush, they're going to force out a Surge, which means no pesky Ion Shells for a few seconds. He's going to have to stay back until that Surge cools down, and the tower getting chomped to bits. Yep,
you talked about Freedom coming out of jungle, and he's coming out of jungle very actively. We didn't see that from Mouseboard yesterday. Pycat, he's fighting against HY, and Cold Snap plus Iron Shell. Just gotta be the most annoying combo.
Gets thrown up onto the hill, drops a ward, because if you're up there, you might as well be productive. And here comes Ice with the March of the Seed. Oh man, this is beautiful to watch. Where's that TP scroll? He needs some help. He needs a force staff, but nobody has one this early. This is where you take your hands off your keyboard and just sob quietly into them, because there is nothing he can do except die. Tornado comes in. Maybe he will live. Nope, the March is going to get him. But is it worth it if Ice gets killed off here? I say no, but that's assuming he dies. There's Misery. One more Reality Rift. No, getting fogged. Ice still hoping it out of there. Loda has level 6, has Roar, chooses not to help, just wants to farm.
LD.
I don't know,
LD,
man.
I want you to prepare your best girly scream and press that enter key and look at how Miracle died. He attacked the range creeps on the low ground and got those 14 damage creep to deny himself.
What? What? Are you kidding
I was thinking of yelling over you with that one, but man, it was insane stuff. You got killed by neutrals. Oh.
That shouldn't happen. That is filthy. Normally you're like, oh yeah, I'm a boss if you're XY, throwing him up on the cliff, and then in the end you waste all that time.
The creativity, the knowledge, the anticipation. I mean, You could script that and not have that kind of result, but Miracle just pulling that out in the biggest stage. No surprise that their team is in the highest seed of their group, sorry. And now here we go. They're gonna be smoke ganking the bot lane, perhaps swinging back mid. Look at how quickly Pycat's moving. Already phase boots done. Force is gonna be his next item choice. So when his teammates pulled up into a cliff again, he can now push them down. But for now, he's looking for somebody, and he will find Lycan at half HP. Can Lycan make it out there? There's a Cold Snap and Thunderstrike ship breaking down. Man, Cold Snap has a lot of good synergy with his teammates' spells. But here comes Tidehunter. Does he have the Ravage ready? Yes, he does. Static Storm, not going to help do too much. Tidehunter's going to run right out. XY surrounding him. Telekinesis, toss him back. No Ravage necessary here. Miracle's going to go down for sure. The question is, where is that Invoker? Is Invoker okay?
Yeah, he TP'd out in the middle of it. Lacoste came in, Lacoste ran away, and meanwhile, Misery, he's found a delicious stack of gold, but he can't actually carry it back himself to base. It's a bit too heavy for Chaos Knight, but he's got his eye on the prize, and that means Tinker and Loda playing that Beastmaster need to get to work on these Ancients soon. This wouldn't be a bad time to do it with Disruptor dying. But anytime your team groups up, that's where it gets real tough. Up against Darkseer, up against Enigma. We haven't seen the Black Holes yet either, and that's something to keep an eye out for. Uh-oh. Things about to get heated up mid. There is still Ravage available. That makes it very hard to jump in on this team, but EMP could definitely turn things around, denying the mana for that Ravage. March getting laid over the middle. They're starting to push. The question is, how committed will they be to this HY really aggressive positioning here? If he gets Black Hold, Kraken Shell will not remove it. Nope, not going to go in just yet. Very slow and steady siege here from Zenith.
Yeah, I mean, slow and steady siege really favors when you have the team with Tinker, right? Ideally, basically, he has infinite mana. He can march all day long. He can rock it if he really feels the need to do so. But because of this slow siege, right, you see Darkseer on the bot lane getting that necessary farm after being ganked off a couple of times. Misery will be teleporting top. And I wonder if this tower is going to hold this March Machine. Tidehunter in the front. I love the fact that Zenith realized they're stronger at this point in the map. Tornado, EMP, they want HY. Static Storm being dropped as well. With all these spells being dropped, I really think that the Radiant could go for this tower now. There's just really no answers anymore, aside from that Black Hole.
There's no mana on anybody. The EMP ruins them. Not even mana to cast the Arcane Boots, and even if you do in your HY, that's not enough. You really want to have an Anchor Smash on top of the Ravage. That does so much damage, 225, and because it's physical, especially if there's a Gush before it, ends up doing more than a magical nuke with the same number is tied to it. Loda, level 7. I don't know if we've seen a single roar yet this game, to be perfectly honest. He has maxed out his Call of the Wild, and I kind of like this choice because you're up against so many mobile, aggressive heroes, Wex, Invoker, Enigma, who could have a Blink, although he's going for a mech, and Darkseer especially. Not to mention Chaos Knight Disruptor. The range on this team is insane, which means you got to see them coming from a long way off. EMP Tornado mid, and Loda is just going to park himself here whenever Zenith tries to push, group up whatsoever. EMP Tornado will be there to make Tidehunter cry himself to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, Loda, his heroes is not really picked for the counter-pushing ability. You know, if that was the case, he would max the Axis. But yeah, it's about the counter ganking. You can see that he's microing his Hawk constantly. The board's the slow is gonna be so important against that Wex Invoker as well as Chaos Knight. Right now, he's just mostly supporting his team. You can see that he has a teleport screw on him. Make sure that if someone's getting dived, he is going to be there with a roar. Miracle trying to deny himself some wards, but I don't know if you want to stand next to those cliffs. It's always a dangerous prospect when there's a Rubik in the game.
So right now, the lead farmer in terms of net worth is that Lycanthrope, only by a slight touch. Tinker doing quite well as well for the Radiant squad. And overall, in terms of experience, it is a big lead on the part of CLG. Seems like they have the edge numerically in terms of gold, in terms of experience. But whenever you're up against Lycan and Tinker, you can't count that team out, especially with the kinds of initiation that they have to back it up. Ward wars on the bottom lane. So Lumi, I ask you right now, is either team unhappy with what they're getting out of this game so far? Is there urgency for their team? Or is it a completely wide open game?
I think Zenith is really unhappy that they haven't pushed down this tier 1 tower yet. They by far are the stronger team fight lineup. They have Ravage, they have that Rubik, of course, a Tinker, Beastmaster. They have so much really good hero killing power. You can see that as soon as Tidehunter hit 6, or well, a little bit after Tidehunter hit 6, they just dove mid and they want to get that tower down. But CLG's defensive positioning, EMP Tornado, constantly preventing the mana from HY ever casting that Ravage. I think right now Zenith wants to take down that tier 1 very, very big time, and it would suck for them if it's going to be a deny EMP Tornado. And where's the deny? No deny attempted. Loda's going to pick that one up. It was a hard-fought tower, and Miracle
That is a very fast fish, and they're going on to Miracle now. Gush sent all the way back. What a cheeky counter, but there's the roar. Miracle will take a fall. They lose the tier 1. They lose Miracle. And because they lose him, that probably means the tier 2 bottom is in jeopardy. And after this, can you just roll straight into Roshan with March of the Machines over the top, sort of keep everyone back? You still have Ravage. This could be a massive swing. But meanwhile, top lane, it's Misery. 4 seconds done on Ice Ice Ice. He is overextended, though, because XY is here. He takes a fall. And Zenith looking very powerful right now. If they weren't happy before, they are happy now. Are they really going high ground? I feel Roshan is the much safer play, but they want more vacuum. You can't vacuum onto that cliff, although if you could, he probably would have there. Tornado is not going to hit, or EMP rather is not going to hit a Loda, but they're stalling here on the part of CLG. And Roshan, if they want to go for it, it's going to get a lot harder as CK is respawning.
Yeah, I thought that was an opening for the Roshan. They did not go for it, which is fine. I feel like Zenith, they could win team fights very easily. Look at how easy it was for Zenith on that mid tower. They just charged in. Sure, there was EMP Tornado. Sure, there's Vacuum and Black Hole, but none of that is actually online at the full potential yet. And realizing that, Zenith says, we'll go and we'll take the tower. And they will continue to do that until Vacuum's at max, until perhaps a Blink Dagger's up on Aki or BKB. And right now, I don't think CLG has reached their full potential when it comes down to team fight. And Zenith is going to bully all over them because of that.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's a Darkseer doesn't even have his ult yet. And in 2 levels, he's going to have a level 2 ult, assuming he maxes it, which is... He has not maxed Ion Shell. He's actually maxed Vacuum. But once you have a maxed out Vacuum and a level 2 wall, especially with Black Hole, Disruptor as well to follow up, that's where their team fight gets insane. Disruptor, we haven't talked about it too much, but this hero, as far as sports go, especially if you want him to be a big team fight contributor, which they definitely need him to be because of the way their lineup is constructed, he needs a lot of levels. And of course, Invoker, Pycat playing that, you really want to max out Wex. The EMP Tornado combo gets so much stronger once you do so. Even Quas points would be very valuable. So I wanted to clarify what you were saying earlier, and I'm really glad you brought up. Zenith's team fight lineup is stronger now, but in terms of team fight abilities, CLG's will get stronger the longer the games goes.
CLG is gonna smoke up, and they see a couple guys on top. Those Hawk, those Boar constantly checking things out, but unfortunately they would not see through smoke. And here we go, Pycat, he wants to lead the charge. He has a force staff for the chase as well. I do believe Tornado will dispel that double damage room, but perhaps they want Loda instead. Tornado is going to miss cleanly. Blink Ravage on 3, and here comes a big bad wolf. Black Hole, Vacuum. We talked about the combo. The sun goes on Ice right now, but there's worse a damage output here. CLG is losing this team fight. Darkseer gets 1 kill, but Darkseer very low as well. Misery is going to go down. Loda's still alive. Pycat doing the right click right now. 4 more captain fighting against a new captain. Nothing comes of it, and everybody will back off despite being
Miracle.
Miracle's gonna die to Ice big lesson. Despite the initiation coming from CLG, the response from Zenith a lot quicker and a lot more effective.
You know, it was just the lack of damage there. They didn't have the Disruptor full damage locked over because he's not maxed out. You had big vacuum in, Lacoste dropping low. Also, they did not focus Freedom in that fight, and if you don't focus Lycan, he is going to do absolute work. Freedom, normally the support player, he did buy the Courier, to be sort of the appropriate thing to do, but he's Lycan, man, and he is a big bad wolf. 91 creeps, 386 gold per minute. Tinker not far behind. Remember, this is a Tinker who was actually a lower level than his offlane Beastmaster, who was roaming and getting runes, but he has started to catch up in a big way now. Level 11 on him, 4 staff, Fat Boots of Travel, Soul Rain, and Bottle, and the synergy between these two is so strong. Not just the split push, but also one creates pressure, the other farms. Whoever's not having a good time, the other will pick them up, throw them on his shoulders until they're both ready to be big contributors. But we saw the potential of CLG, and I feel if they have a few more levels, maybe a couple of team fight items to go with their team fight abilities beyond the mech, something like a pipe, that would have gone a lot better for them.
Yeah, they have the combo to lock people down, but they really need Misery to be at full HP, have perhaps his level... Well, he wants to be a level 16 with the max Phantasm because you can actually kill people extremely quickly when those crits are raining down. But for now, he only has 1 point in Chaos Strike, and that's why he's not doing as much damage as possible. He picks up a bit booster. I think it is going to be a Vanguard build. He really needs as much HP as possible. He is going to be absolutely in the front lines, so more HP is always better.
Or maybe a heart. I mean, you can even get a casual vitality boost.
Right.
It's such a good item on a hero like Chaos Knight. I mean, it doesn't give damage like an Ogre Club would, and it doesn't build into something which has much utility as a BKB or, even a Heaven's Halberd, although I wouldn't be a bad item against Lycan. I don't think that's where he's going to go anyway. But it's just such a cost-effective item because you're always in the front lines, especially with this lineup. It's only Chaos Knight who can jump in. Nobody else can really afford to do so. They're all very squishy, and that's something we haven't discussed either. Miracle, 800 HP. Enigma, sitting on 900. Sure, they've got a mech, and by the way, a buckler on Miracle, as well as the mech on Ake. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication from CLG. Perhaps they need their coffee. Perhaps Zenith is kind of pouring some hot coffee on their faces right now. They're getting burnt a little bit. In terms of gold, in terms of experience, still a pretty even game, but the Radiant are definitely ahead now, significantly. And this is a lineup, once you start giving them some momentum, it is going to be hard to shut them down. Lycan almost has a BKB. Tinker 1500 gold. That next level of items is coming up pretty soon. And that next level of team fight might be coming soon as well. The entire team smoked up. HY had that blink. He used it in the last team fight. We didn't really talk about it. HY leading his team, just waiting very, very patiently. And CLG, perhaps they know. Here comes Loda. Where's the blinking? There's a blinking Ravage on everybody. Miracle's got to be the first one to focus. They do not focus him down. Aki dies to the March of Mystery. Misery going to be focusing on Ice. He will bring him down. That's big. Misery pops his drum and is trying to running away from Freedom. That's going to be hard. HY is going to come right in. There's going to be Anchor Smash. Vacuum helping him out. The Surge. Big play here from Lacoste. Will he make it out alive? No, he's going to eat some stuns. That was XY stealing the Chaos Bolt and returning it to Lacoste. The buyback, I think, came from the Radiant team. They know they have the advantage. They want to press for it. They could take the tier 2 right now at mid lane. They could take the tier 2 up top. They could even go for the Roshan. Just so much option if you're Zenith right now. Up by 7 kills. How much gold are they up by? Up by 5,000. That gold chart is just going straight up right now. It's only going further up because they can easily claim Roshan or go for a tier 3 right now, I believe. Maybe not, actually. CLG is such a low level. They're respawning fast, but Roshan will drop quickly. Zenith want to make a go. Let's see, will CLG try and contest this? They do have their big combo up. They didn't get a black hole off in the last fight. I don't believe they got a Darkseer wall. They did not, so nothing was used there. If they want to fight, I mean, the Roshan pit in theory is perfect, but we're seeing how strong Tidehunter is. You can pick a team fight lineup similar to Panda, but a little bit easier to, I would say. It doesn't require the micro as a more reliable AoE stun to work with. He ruins that team fight. Blink in, Ravage on 4. It was a great smoke gank. Really, a bit of luck and a lot of skill to positioning there. CLG walking right into it. Again, just not as sharp as they were yesterday. And well, that Tidehunter, you're not getting your team fight off if he hits a 4-hero Ravage. Not this early. Nuh-uh, mister.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder whether Misery's going to look to BKB as his next item choice. Same thing with Enigma. They really need as much physical survival or magical immunity as possible. But magical immunity sometimes isn't the answer to everything. What are you going to do against a Lycan? What are you going to do against a Tinker? That Marching Machine will still hurt you through the BKB. So right now, I just feel like CLG needs 2-3 items on every single hero. And if that's a situation, you're not too good. You're not really in a very ideal situation.
Right, this is not ideal, but we cannot count CLG. We've seen them. We saw particularly when they played Complexity about the Southern World Tour. I've mentioned this game a lot. For anyone who's watching all the casts, you're probably like, damn it, man, stop mentioning that game. But to me, it's so... We've seen big Darkseer combos, but I don't think I've ever seen a bigger deficit and a team that was more firmly on the back foot than CLG was for easily 20 minutes, just not leaving pretty much this area of the map. They hit one combo, and from there, they have complete momentum and control of the map the rest of the game. So you can never count a team with this kind of AoE combo out. If they hit it, it's going to be scary. But if CLG just farm for those items, if they play passively, in theory, Zenith should slowly but surely accrue an advantage. If you get enough items, if your Lycan gets big enough, that AoE combo is not going to be too scary, especially if there's an Aegis to work with. The Aegis actually went to Tinker. I believe you mentioned it briefly, but interesting choice here. I would think maybe Lycan would be the better option. He's very tanky, but I think he's also doing more. Either way, though, it's both these are very important to the team. And having 2 lives on Ice, plus the buyback potential means Zenith can easily have 6, 7, even 8 hero lives in a single team fight.
Yeah, perhaps they're feeling that Freedom is going to be fine since he has BKB, and Misery has been constantly focusing at Ice at the beginning of team fight. So they really feel like they need a Tinker, and it's a good choice like you mentioned. Now, you were talking about these team fights. I think we casted similar games like this in the past where both teams has a big AoE team fight. It's so hard to actually call really who has to lead because you could be winning 5 team fights in a row, suddenly you're out of position once and you get team wiped and the other team is right back. This can be a similar position. Zenith's positioning in this game so far has been superb, so I don't think they will make the mistake, but they're humans. At the end of the day, they can, in theory, make those mistakes. Now, one thing though, when it comes down to team fight, it's all about positioning, it's all about sight. I want to mention, look at the warding on the Radiant side. The deep warding, they see absolutely everything. That's not it. Beastmaster maxing Hawk by 7, remember we talked about that? That's a big part in Zenith's success. Also, that's not it. Lycanthrope, if you see his wolves, they're constantly using the move command, the follow command. They are invisible. They're constantly scouting people out. It's multiple times I've seen him stalking that Enigma, stalking Miracle around. It's just all the small little thing. And Tinker rockets are flying in, and the enemy goes, how do they see us, right? We don't have wards here, or do they? It's suddenly they're getting in your head. It seems like wherever you go, they see you.
Yeah.
And if you're CLG, that's not where you want to be at all.
I would really like to see a gem on the Beastmaster as well. We see it a lot from the Chinese teams, and I mean, really take a page out of their book, because that is the best way to completely lock down the map. And you have a very tanky Beastmaster, mech and pipe complete on Loda. This is an off-lane Beastmaster. His farm, not exceptional, but he hasn't been dying really at all. He's 1-1-5, a lot of assists, and the tower gold. This is where Lycan is so great for the supporting cast of the team, getting everybody massive amounts of farm. Pipe, mech picked up, Aegis on the Tinker, BKB on the Lycan, Blink Dagger on the Tide. So many core items, and that Tide is close to a refresher as well. That will be devastating. He gets it. No BKBs on the Dire Squad. Really anywhere nearby. Maybe Aki working towards one. Freedom pops the ult, pops the BKB. They need a black hole to deal with them. There is no black hole just yet. Ravage hits on Enigma. Aki tries to come in. Misery running for his life. Great black hole hitting on 3. Nice job there with the wall as well. The damage, will it be enough? Freedom still almost unkillable. Loda still alive. So damn tanky, they bring down Freedom. Tinker will take a fall. Going high ground against Darkseer, against Enigma. God damn, this is so difficult. Just farm for an hour, I suppose, because you just can't do it, man. What a fight for Zenith. And even then, CLG, they overwhelmed them, they wiped them out, and they defend. That tower is sitting pretty.
Just like what we mentioned, you could be winning 3-4 team fights in a row, but when it comes to big AoE team fight versus big AoE team fight, one misplay and you're done, and that's exactly what we saw. Sure, CLG spent 1 or 2 buyback, but when it comes down to defending your Rex, it is war worth it. Of course, Roshan's going to be back in just 5 minutes or so, so winning these big team fights and giving your big AoE team fights the ability to cool down as you farm, that's a big thing that we haven't talked about. You know, these big AoE team fights, they have a long cooldown, and if you win a team fight, now Aki can farm and have his Black Hole slowly cool down and make it ready when the Roshan is up in a couple of minutes.
You know, it's one of these things where if you go extreme theorocrafty, maybe you just want to lose a fight and hold on to your Ravage and then immediately go push again after they drop the Black Hole and the wall. Of course, that's probably a bad idea. You give up a lot to do it, but just throwing it out there is something crazy to think about. Rockets get dropped. Mark's doing a lot of damage towards Miracle. The Thunderdome not going to connect, and it's Misery in the front lines. Ghost Scepter picked up, vacuum back on a HY. Tornado was stolen. Hits on 3. Miracle drops to 10 HP or so, but he lives. He will back off. CLG, they want to make something happen after that big team fight. Blink in, long-range telekinesis, pulling Aki back. Aki will take a fall. There's your work. Pipe and back, both still available. Endless volleys of rockets, gonna connect. Miracle takes a fall. What a range, and XY, excuse me, speaking of range, he's got the gem. There's your map control, as well as something that will be very helpful for pushing into this high ground. They can make sure that CLG have no idea what's going on right now. Freedom rotates bottom. The creep equilibrium looking very solid here if they want to push, but there is no Ravage. Do they need it? I'm not sure they do. I think with all the ults down, having the pipe and the mech gives Zenith the edge in the team fight.
Yeah, with the pipe, they can walk on the high ground and get in positional high ground against a team fight lineup. Very important. Glyph is used EMP Tornado. Very, very big. Sure, you're going for that refresher, but you'll never have the mana to get that second Ravage off. That's kind of cheeky play here. Meanwhile, we do have X Freedom popping his ultimate to run away. I think that CLG dive push on the mid lane, I think that perhaps they were feeling a little bit too confident. They just recently won a team fight. They wanted to press for a little bit more advantage, and they dove very aggressively. Misery diving for Tinker with 4 staff. He wanted to get the kill. Unfortunately, Tinker was just a little bit too fast, and because of that, the chasing power of Zenith really surprised me, and perhaps it surprised you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did not know they were that good at chasing. I imagine it was the Wex Tornado Invoker, the Chaos Site that's going to be leading the chases in this game. But let's see, going the other way around.
It really is. The Blink Dagger on Tidehunter, Rubik Telekinesis, double 4 staffs on the team. One of those rearmable on the part of Tinker. Of course, Lycan's move speed. And the Boots of Travel, so if you're not able to catch up, rearm and TP into a creep that will let you get in range. So many ways for them to catch up into these fights. It's looking real good for them right now. I gotta say, Lumi, look at the gold graph. How insane is it that Zenith lose a team fight in the enemy base, CLG get about a minute or so to push out all the lanes and farm, and the gold graph, the dip is for maybe 300 gold or so, and that's right before the fight goes the other way mid. That is real frustrating as well. You win a team fight, you hit your big combo, and you can't get the gold to budge. You're not getting the item advantage. Pycat Ultimate Orb picked up, working for a site device, but this is not going to be the the 18, 22-minute site device we've been seeing. Not all tournament long, but in many of the games this tournament. It is going to be a while for any big items. Misery Ultimate Orb as well. I guess it's going to be a Manta, more illusions, but so much AoE to kill them off.
Yeah. I think the reason that CLG is falling behind in terms of fight is the tower. The towers are defending. They're killing a lot of creep kills. They're taking a lot of creep kills. CLG's throwing AoE, but sometimes their own tower, their own creeps take the last hit. And meanwhile, if you look at what Zenith's doing, yeah, we're pushing, but we're also farming your jungle. We're farming your ancients. It's just difficult for CLG to come back. They gotta win a lot of team fights. Make sure the creep equilibrium's not constantly in front of their own tower. Push a couple of towers of their own, and then start to stabilize. If this game goes on, Zenith will have the farming advantage. Again, look at what HY's doing right now. He's farming the jungle, no big deal.
And he's just about got his refresher. I mean, for me, you're probably not going to get that off, but maybe if you blink in at the right time, you will. So I say get the refresher up, maybe even try and get another energy boost or something, because if you get a double Ravage, how can you possibly lose a fight with a double Ravage? Rubik is on the Radiant side, so there will be no stealing of that. There's a Darkseer, there's an Enigma, it's hard to count them out, but I just think with double Ravage, with Tinker, Lycan, Beastmaster, so much additional lockdown, not to mention Rubik, who provides some great lockdown. He's got Chaos Bolt, he's been stealing it constantly all game. It's gotta be Lycan just chomping away on everyone when that double Ravage hits.
Ooh, Tinker teleporting on the bot lane here, but perhaps being set up. No, that Force Staff. Oh man, such a tease. How do you chase them down? But it looks like they're trying. No, they're not. Misery do not want to run too far away from Passive River. Again, look at this Lycan Wolf constantly scouting, just being such a nuisance. They see you everywhere you go. They know where you are. That feeling you have, man, it's messed up.
Can you actually see when I draw on the map? Because
I do see them. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like look at the sphere of influence they have right now. This is about all they can leave. Even if they try to leave, what happens is Tinker pushes in, Lycan pushes it, and then they have to go defend. They might even get a kill on Freedom, but or the Tinker for that matter. But even if they do, the other one's split pushing. It's so hard to keep up and farm when this is happening. The enemy has full access to your jungle. They can even stack and farm your ancients. They can farm their entire side of the map, of course. There's so little for CLG to do at this point. The options are so few and far between.
Right, and I mean, they're not that good at late game either, right? There's a Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight, I think, gets somewhat out DPS, especially he gets fall behind in terms of inventory like this. He's trying to go for a Manta style, which is a very cute choice, but against a double Ravage, I don't think it's going to be a very good DPS item. And I don't think the mirror image, the debuffing of the Manta style will be too effective either. So I'm not too sure whether I like this item choice, but at this point, Misery doesn't even have the options if we actually finish this Manta. So,
well, they are hanging on right now, and CK is definitely a hero that can be potent in the late game. I would say he can stand toe-to-toe with Lycan, but he needs the items to do so. Lycan, 3,500 gold in the bank. The one nice thing about CK is he doesn't really care too much about Lycan's BKB if they're actually man-fighting, which maybe Lycan won't want to do. Sure, you can't Chaos Bolt, you can't Reality Rift, but those 4 illusions hit extremely hard. There's a lot of AoE, but if it goes long enough, CK definitely can be that physical damage zone. There's a lot of stuns to back him up. The Hex, not far off for Pycat. Despite being restricted to their base, these are big items to pick up. Manta Style and CK, you're looking at suddenly, he's not quite level 6, but you're still looking at 2 plus 3. You're looking at 5 illusions to work with. Or 4 illusions and the hero to work with, I should say. That is a lot of instant nuke or physical damage coming out. Zenith are pretty tanky, but they could still be brought down by the CK, especially if he gets some luck with his crits. His luck has been good with the Chaos Bolt, but maybe it will be better with those crits. Right.
Now, I'm glad you brought up that Pycat's almost done with his Cypher Vice. Let's assume that Pycat has to go for it right now. Does he finish it? Does he actually save for buyback? We saw this interesting debate, multiple times yesterday when, teams are trying to, in a similar situation where they're about dead, and they're either saving for buyback or they're too afraid to buy that big item.
Oh, big tornado hits on 2, EMP as well. Are they Nope, they're not going to go in. Just try and slow down this push. The tower is taking some good damage. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Freedom pressuring that lane. And the problem right now for CLG is no one hero can fully stop Lycan from pushing. No Necro Book, 4,200 gold in the bank. It doesn't look like he wants to go for one. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a heart. We saw CLG. That's something they did as well when they run the Lycan, is they get multiple hearts up, mainly on the Lycan. That's the most important one. And then you can siege the tower, drop low, heal up, rearm, reload, reset, and do it all over again. Lacoste surges in, wants to find the vacuum. catches out XY, Tornado, 4-step away. Gotta catch more than that. You'd love to have a Blink Dagger on your Darkseer now, but the farm is just not there.
And you can see that once the vacuum is on cooldown, the Zenith squad looks a little bit more aggressive. Didn't get too much out of it. The kinetic field scaring them away. I think at this point here, both teams are just waiting for the enemy team to make the mistake. And if you're up a hill like this, like CLG, you do have a small, slight advantage. You see them half the time, they don't see you. They're working with an uphill 25% miss chance. So you have the small incremental advantage going your way, but it doesn't matter if someone gets out of position. That's basically a 5v4. But big smoke on the bot lane here. Wow. CLG's got to sense this one coming.
Oh, I thought you were talking about CLG for a second. You know, it's whether they sense it or not, they really cannot leave the space. To do so is pretty much insanity. Ice, went for the Shiva's guard, did not opt for the Scythe of Ice. Misery, Roar, pulled back with telekinesis, blinking. Ravage number 1, Ravage number 2. It hits on 4. HY, it's a massacre. Oh man, so much stuff. Meteor, Enigma ultimate, the black hole over the top. Freedom takes a fall! How do you hit a 4-hero double Ravage and lose a team fight? You play against CLG's Enigma and Ake, oh man, or Ake's Enigma I should say, and Pycat's Invoker. That damage triple for Lacoste! Oh!
Remember that vacuum block on the top? They hit it. It was nice, but they had no damage. In this team fight, they had the damage. The wall was right on top. Misery, look at his HP. It was full at the end of the team fight. That should never happen against the Chaos Knight. His Phantasm Illusion did 1 billion damage. Meteor being dropped on Pycat. Look at his Exort points. It's getting higher and higher. That's the thing. They were missing DPS early. They had DPS now. I didn't like really the double Ravage. Those double Ravage was used kind of... They wanted to prevent the initiation. They want to kill Misery right from the get-go. But Misery... Did he buy back? I wonder what the case was, but...
Yeah, he did, but he did buy back.
Okay, he bought back, and he just went to town. Of course, the black hole was absolutely insane. Again, this goes back to what we've been talking about whole game. You can lose a couple of team fights, but if your AoE team never give up, if you hit those AoEs, that combo that you have, you could just win that easily.
You know, they were lacking in terms of damage earlier. We saw the combo up top. I forget exactly what it was, but maybe 10-15 minutes ago. They didn't have the follow-up to the black hole in the wall, but now they do.
Yeah.
They have Pycat, and more importantly, they have a CK, not quite in his prime, but getting close. He bought back, but he made up that gold more or less. Ultimate Orb already, or excuse me, the Ultimate Orb's been on him, but he's getting close to the Yasha, and then it's only a hop, skip, and a jump, really, to complete the Mansa style. It's Zenith, they keep on trying to break the high ground. You know, you talked about the Ravage usage there. He used them both very close together. I guess the other thing to consider is he didn't use them to counter-initiate, which maybe is what you want to do. It's hard to, though, right? Because if CLG throw you up in the air with a tornado, all of a sudden there can be a black hole on top of you. Maybe Chaos Knight hits a nice stun, and then maybe you never get your Ravages up at all. But he's really got to be patient. Maybe smoke him up and keep him farther back. That team fight feels like 5 seconds ago, but the Refresher Orb and the Ravage are both cooled down. Zenith can have a go again, and this is before Black Hole is even ready.
Here's the thing, I feel like HY is making it too easy for Ake. TIE Hunter is often considered as one of the easiest counter and the best counter for Enigma Black Hole because of the AoE Ravage is so huge. Ake, in most of these team fight, he's just walking in. He didn't even have Blink up because, you know, all the AoE damage are flying out. He literally just walk in and vacuum on the ground. Of course, Lacoste, the rest of the work vacuuming together. It's making it Ake too easy. Ake cannot have these 4-man black holes when there's a double Ravage up on the other side. Also, we saw the telekinesis from XY, and then the immediate Beastmaster were on Loda. That wasn't the best chain stun, and because of that, again, another very good, reliable way to cancel the black hole wasn't there. So, Ake's black hole is carrying them right now.
And we haven't seen a black hole getting stolen top lane. It's Freedom in a bit of trouble. Here comes Misery. Woo. Oh, the courier genocide coming out. Oh, that's some animal rights violations there. Is there going to be a Malphus? Is there going to be a black hole?
Yeah.
There will be. They want Freedom. I love it. Can they get the kill? This is a long BKB, though. He may be able to hope it out of here. Miracle glimpse him back. He does it. Where the hell did this Lycan go? He went too far. He runs the other way. Freedom, got to escape. In comes Ice. Pycat gets a kill around the world. Miracle dropping low, takes a fall. Ake as well. Freedom held in place. Ravage number 1 hits absolutely nothing except Lacoste, but Ravage number 2, that's on point. Misery will fall. Single hero black hole. Not the combo they needed. Not the combo they wanted. Body block on Lacoste, wall surge. He will escape, but no black hole, no double Ravage. Zenith looking like they finally may be able to break through this defense.
I don't know, man. Lycan's very low in terms of HP. He's got to back off. Tinker's need a Fountain Trip very soon, but he's going to TP on the bot lane and start pressuring it. I think without the double Ravage, they can't actually go up on the high ground. So even though even though the Enigma uses Black Hole, double Ravage isn't up. So at best, I think Zenith do a little bit pot shot damage. But look at, there's no tower, so they're going to hit on this Rex as much as possible. And here we go, EMP being defended here by Pycat. How much defense can a single Pycat Invoker do? We're about to find out.
Can he defend as well as a G Tinker? We're about to find out. Oh man, this is a fantastic combo. Ice, force stats his way out. The Rex dropping low, will take a fall. Loda last hits that one from the looks of it. Tornado on 3. Beautiful Tornado. Can they find some kills? They lost the Rex. They'd love to get something glimpsed back onto Loda. There's your sight device. But Loda is not an easy kill. Almost harder to kill than some Lycan and some of these other heroes with the pipe, the mech. They get the Rex. They get the hell out of there. And that's going to make life a lot easier for Zenith. And what do you know, Roshan only a few minutes away.
Oh man, that was such a big risky play to use the Black Hole. If they killed the Lycan very, very quick, I think that would have been worth it. But unfortunately, Lycan was just bouncing around his ultimate. His BKB, luckily, was one of the first time he used it. Second time he used it, so it was 9 seconds. It lasted throughout the Black Hole. And the stun, it went on the Necro minion from Misery. So unfortunately, the Black Hole just whiffed. And when you're facing up against 2 Ravage without any AoE or spell, of course Lacoste was not there for the big vacuum combo either, so it just worked out horribly for CLG. Now down 1 Rex, this is as difficult as they'll ever get for CLG. They gotta just hold on and pray those AoE combos gonna work. But if you see what Zenith's been doing so far, I think what they're gonna do is keep waiting for the top lane to slowly push in, and send Lycan on one of the lanes that they're not pushing in, and then have the 4 other heroes on the last lane. So basically it's going to be a tri-lane pressure, and CLG is going to be spread too thin, and sooner or later CLG is going to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think you can put the Lycan bottom, Tinker pushing top, because Lycan's going to do a lot more to actually kill the buildings. You probably want him bottom, pressuring that lane, 3 heroes mid, and then Tinker top. But really, however they want to organize that push, the split push is the easiest way, and probably the safest way. What you just don't want to group up first vacuum Black Hole, and it's the much safer way to go about it. For CLG, they keep on dying. They're really not getting too much farm, but they are getting close to something as far as next items go. Ake near a BKB, that will be pretty helpful. There is a Roar. Black Hole can be stolen, so it's not going to be necessarily a game breaker, but it will help them deal maybe with something like the double Ravage and the Telekinesis. So that'll be nice. Mantis Style picked up a Misery. I still think CLG are not 100% out of this, but it is so hard to get out of the damn base right now. It's just... how do you maintain your composure in this situation? For me, it's much about the mental games and the mental focus as it is about actually making the right plays and in-game decisions. I
completely agree. I think mental part is half the game. I mean, yesterday you were talking about, what does Mouseboard need to do walking in game 2, and I distinctively remember they gotta keep their composure. You cannot get too emotional after a loss or after a huge disadvantage play. They just lost their top racks, but I think CLG Misery and the entire team believes they could still win this game, and that's kind of the mental strength you need to have when you're down like this, because no one's gonna hand you those free wins. You gotta fight for it, and right now CLG's fighting.
Where there's a Darkseer, there is a way.
Yep. And of course, you have the best, wombo combo here on your team. So, and here we go. This is going to be the 3rd Roshan. Freedom, I imagine he's going to pick up the Aegis, Tinker, Cheese, or is he going to swap it around?
Probably Cheese for Freedom and, nope. Cheese for HY, nope. Aegis for HY. Oh, this is interesting.
I don't know about that.
He's gotten off the double Ravage every fight. You'd never want to focus Tidehunter unless you can Black Hole him. Then you do want to focus.
Maybe he shouldn't just walk in. He's going to just walk in and be like, come at me. I got Kraken Shell, I got extra life. And as he's just walking in like a front lineman, he's going to push everybody back. And it
could work. Yeah. But they're ahead enough that even if it's a weird way to do it, it will probably still work out just fine. The tower is going to take a fall, pipe gets dropped, and they're already firmly in position on the high ground. CLG just let them walk up the hill. Freedom charging in, maybe going to go on Misery here. Where's the BKB? Not using it just yet. There's your BKB. Rex will take a fall. Nice focus for Zenith, not chasing the heroes. Blink in. Ake catches 2. There's your wall. Will it be enough? It will not. The Roar. Finally, the Black Hole gets canceled. Ravage number 1. Where's that second Ravage? It gets stolen. No, there's Ravage number 2. I believe that was actually a glimpse. And everybody getting chewed to bits and locked down and spit out. Ake running back to the fountain. Buybacks galore, but the damage it has done. I even hear a Sunstrike. Where the hell was that one? did not hit. They get another lane of racks, and now it's impossible for CLG to push out of this base.
Impossible indeed. I mean, what's worse than 2 Ravage? 2 Ravage and a Black Hole being stolen by the Rubik. Oh man, that's kind of AoE combo, which it was not possible. And I love the way of initiation this time. X Freedom ran in and basically put all the pressure on the enemy team to focus on X Freedom. More fights coming out right now. Lacoste picked up in the air. Lacoste trying to surge out, and X Freedom is chasing. They do back them up right now, and that last Rax is going to go down very, very quick. Zenith send the Lycanthrope in first and basically use HY as a counter initiation. He blinked in quick finger hex here from Pycat to prevent the first Ravage just for a couple of seconds.
Finger.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
This ain't no lion, man.
And it seems like David has struck back against the Goliath, at least in this match.
Well, I thought that analogy was maybe a little bit overblown, but Zenith certainly need this win. Let's be clear about that. You do not want to walk into that lower bracket. Really, one best out of one, you're out if you're in the lower bracket heading into the knockout round. Zenith, they look like a totally different team from yesterday, and they're playing against some pretty stiff competition here in CLG. It's looking good for them right now. Let's see if they can keep it going, but they definitely seem to have had their Wheaties this morning. This is a much different team from what we saw yesterday.
Yep, we're going to be going up to Game 2. Man, if all the games here today are going to be that action-packed, not sure if we can make it alive to tomorrow, but we'll try our best.
Ladies and gentlemen, this should be the end of game number 1. Val Badmints, feel free to press the button. We will be heading momentarily into game number 2. Zenith get a Lycan, and Lycan, Lumi, I don't know if you had a chance to actually check out the Reddit post for the Dota Academy guys, but Lycan has been winning a crap ton of games.
Is it Lycan or the Rubik?
Lycan, Rubik, Morphlane, I think are the 3 big stories of the tournament so far. And as far as support go, I believe Venomancer is a pretty high win rate as well. Again, it's only 1 day of action. I'm sure those numbers will be adjusted, and the sample size may affect whose win rate is really the best. But Lycan is doing so well, and he really had a down period for a while. It seemed like teams had him figured out, but now it seems like teams have figured out how to use them. Ladies and gentlemen, that is game number 1, Zenith versus CLG, but don't go anywhere, because game number 2 is coming up momentarily. Zenith versus CLG, your first of 6 best out of 2 group stage actions for, drumroll please, the International 2. We'll be back in a jiff.